spend my birthday with you. And I found a LinkedIn friend just in the back, Fritz. Okay, so it's really good because I love what I do. So I'm really happy that I can share this special day with all of you who probably love what you do, hopefully, or at least love the money part. You know, today we're going to talk about business on a very, you know, we're going to take you on this journey where you're starting your business and how do you make it autopilot. For some of you, that's a long, long way away, right? For some of you, you're there, right? Or you're almost there. So let's just go through step by step, and hopefully in the future we can have more and more events, if you find this useful, to go into more specifics, okay, into different parts of the business. So first of all, your biggest asset in business is what? Is your time. Now, as startup entrepreneurs, you know, we don't have enough money to hire staff, or we don't want to spend our money, so we decided to use our time, because our time is free, right? No, it's not. Okay. Your time is the most precious part. So I'd like you to just in your head or on a piece of paper, I'd like you to do this little simple calculation. Calculate for yourself the owner's salary. What is the owner's salary? How many of you pay yourself a salary, by the way? Yeah, the rest of you just take cash out as and when you want, right? Now, the owner's salary in a business is equal to your profits divided by the number of hours you work. So your profits per month divided by the number of hours you work per month. How many of you are calculating? Would you like some tissues? Okay. Anyway, the point is, for some of you, it's a pretty decent number. For some of you, you're sitting there saying, oh my God. Now the question, for every slide, I'd like you to equip you with questions. Questions that get you thinking at a different paradigm shift, right? Is it worth it for me to do all these things? Or is it sometimes, for some of you, you have no choice. You have no cash. The cash that you do have is invested somewhere else. Fine, right? But for some of you, you're starting to have choices. You're just cheap, okay? And for some of you who are at that stage where you do have choices, maybe it's time for you to value your time a little bit more. So I'll just leave you with this question. But what I'm happy about is you are investing your time in learning, like attending this workshop. So it's really good that one of the key, not urgent, but important things that owners can do is develop themselves. Your business will grow to the level of your competence. Right? So Jim Rohn, a wise business philosopher, used to say, never wish your life were easier, wish that you were better. There's no one that I know, I mean, you get the business you deserve, you get the employee you deserve, you get the team you deserve, you get the profits you deserve. So by investing your time here, what you're elevating is your level of competence, your level of understanding, your level of mindset towards running your business. And I am sure your business will grow faster. So congratulations for being here. Who is Action Coach and what gives us the right to do this with you? We are a company that, you see, I don't think Action Coach has the ability to claim that we invented anything new. We are a company that collates the best practices of business wisdom. We collate it in different kinds of books. We collate them in different kinds of frameworks. The frameworks we do innovate. But the basic idea of business has been around for years. The problem is, most of us don't have time to read 2,000 books. And literally, Brad Sugars has read 2,000 books over in his lifetime. In a book, in a week, he reads about 3. So when you read some of our stuff, he chunks it down to very practical steps, all right? So based on the theory of this and this and this, it doesn't matter. You don't care what the theory is. What matters is, what do I do, right? So his books you will find is very practical. The 21 strategies to get referrals, the 280 strategies to boost your profits, those kinds of things. 9 steps to building a system, 6 keys to a winning team, a formula for a recruitment strategy for recruiting staff, all that with scripts, with templates, right? So that's the kind of stuff that we provide proven strategies for increasing your business results. And we hope to accelerate your success through proven systems. Action Coach has been around for 22 years. Started by a 21-year-old called Brad Sugars, who has a knack for starting out businesses, consulting businesses. And he said, you know what, why don't we do this? There's coaching, life coaching, but why don't we start business coaching? Yeah? So that's what he did. His personal favorite, and he is coming to Bali. If you want to see him live, he will be conducting his masterclass from the 5th to 7th of August. Unfortunately, it is very last minute, but there's still 1 or 2 spaces if you want. The brochure's over there. And basically, he will teach you how to build your wealth. A gentleman at 44, having the wealth that he has, definitely didn't do it by growing one business. What I will teach you today is about how to grow the business. But you don't make money, the big money, from growing the business. You know this because you're in an incubator program. You make your money from selling your business and then buying another one, not starting a new one up. You buy your next business. Yeah? So that's what he does. Buy and sell businesses, also investing in different kinds of property deals. That's how he gets rich at a young age. Okay? So I will not teach this stuff tonight, but that's what he basically teaches us in Entrepreneur's Masterclass. It also reduces your costly trial and error. So the statistics is that most businesses will last 5 years before they close. You look at it around you, the malls, the retail shops, the ones that we know of as customers. In 3 years' time, they have a different brand, they have a different look. It's a different owner, right? Why? Because the first owner has probably burnt out. And if you're not careful, it will happen the same to you. The 20% that remains will usually die in the next 5 years. 80% of what remains will die again. This is an international statistic. It probably happens in greater percentages in Indonesia because the cost of starting up a business here is quite low. But the education level of most Indonesian entrepreneurs is quite low as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if international statistics says 80% dies within 5 years. Indonesian statistic might say 90. Yeah? But again, our statistic work isn't the most useful, so I'll go with the international one. Okay? So we have 750 coaches in 60 countries. So the idea is, all the stuff that I'm teaching today, I'm sharing today, the question is no longer, does Action Coach work? We've been proven for the last 22 years. These strategies has worked for many, many thousands of businesses. The question is, when you go into a coaching program or you work with a coach, will you work? That's the real question. It's kind of like, you have your mentors in GEPI, right? It's not that they're not proven. The question is, can I be guided? Can I, as an entrepreneur, be guided? Am I the type of person that will commit to the hard work? Can I make this stuff work? So what I will share with you are proven strategies. Don't worry, this is not because I'm smart. I'm not really that smart. It's really because what I'm sharing with you is stuff that works. There's lots of Action Coaches in Indonesia. We have about 25, 28 coaches. We are from Action Coach South Jakarta. Yeah? We like to think we're the funkiest. But that's for you to decide. So Marvin, who will be coaching GEPI, I think starting tomorrow. He's a proven entrepreneur as well. Herman is our master licensee, and this is my other partner, Chahyadi, who comes from more of a Chinese family business type of style. So he coaches, guides a lot of second-generation entrepreneurs who's taking over their parents. A lot these days, yeah? And a lot of East meets West conflicts. And a little bit about myself. I'm a psychology major by school. I only took that because you could graduate faster, and I was ready to just go to work. So I spent a long time in sales, and then moved into marketing, and then I went into business turnaround. So I was turning around businesses who sell in a big multinational company. I used to be in the B2B industrial side, selling cleaning chemicals, and then the second business I turned around was a pest control business. So not the most ladylike jobs in the world, but it helped me understand how to turn around product-based companies as well as service-based companies. It's two different types of ways of thinking. They are similar, but they are different. So we all have the same product. I don't care if you sell shoes or clothes or IT products. We all have the same product. Our main product is what? business. Okay? We all have the same product. Our goal is to maximize the value of it. Our goal is to maximize value of business. This is the perfect crowd who knows what I'm talking about. When you are pitching to investors, when you want to eventually sell, how many of you want to sell your business one day? Oh, not as much as I thought. I thought the whole room was going to raise their hands. Okay, I'm going to underestimate you a little bit now. I think I've overestimated this room. Okay, so maximizing the value of your business is about, like, the value of your business is calculated in a very simplistic way, profit times a certain multiple, right? That multiple can be 2, could be 20. So you see now why rich people don't just go earn profit and try to increase it by 20% each year. Truly rich people will go and buy and sell their businesses, right? Some of you say, I don't want to sell my business. I love my business, right? It is your business. It is your investment. It's not your family, right? So when you go IPO, that's selling a business. When you franchise, that's selling a business. When you get an investor, an angel investor, to invest money in you, that's selling a business. Basically, selling a business means that how do I grow my business with other people's money? Right? How many of you would like to grow your business with other people's money? Ah, good. More hands go up. Kind of the right group. So how do you do that? Increasing profit, you have different ways, okay? I mean, that's basic. We're going to cover it today, okay? Marketing, get to know your uniqueness. You know, we as coaches, we ask you stupid but difficult questions. Customer retention strategies, efficiency, etc. The trick is multiple. This is the difference. I'm going to use Bahasa Indonesia for a second. This is the difference between dagang and business. What is dagang, in English? Dagang is like when you are building a business for the sake of just making money. You will see dagang happening in Glodok. You will see dagang happening in Pasar Baru. People who stay in their business for 7 days a week, working to get money. People who sell below cost just to get cash. That's dagang. Do they have a system? Do they have free time? No. Can they hand over or sell their business to a successor? No. Because if it's not them, it doesn't work. That's dagang. And you'll see later when we discuss the 6 steps, there is a phase where people do sell their business when it's making huge amounts of money. But if you don't have systems in place and the business depends on you, many investors will say, I don't want to buy your business. Because it's a shell after you go. We'll keep you for 2 years. And then after that, then what? All the clients were sold by you. The team only listens to you. You don't really have any good people working for you. It's just you. So then, okay, I'll buy your business because I like your product. I'll give you a multiple of 2. Right? So the multiple, if we work on this part, then you start having a business. Not just having money, but having a system so that the business starts running on its own, independent of you. Therefore, it's like McDonald's. And you know how much a franchise of McDonald's costs these days, excluding the property it sits on? A lot. Okay, a lot. Yeah. And you gotta want to mop the floor for 2 weeks. You gotta want it to be trained. Okay. They can set all the rules they want because, you know, when you're in Russia and you can't eat a single thing and you only drink vodka and you eventually get tired of it, you say, you know what? I really need something to eat right now. I need a familiar face. And you go in the distance and you see the Golden Arches. You will go, right? It is as, you know, and it's interesting, McDonald's doesn't have the best hamburgers, right? But they are a company that knows how to make consistently bad hamburgers, right? So you know exactly how consistently bad those hamburgers are going to be. That's why you race to the Golden Arches, because it's a familiar bad taste, right? And you know exactly what kind of liver disease you will have afterwards. So anyway, so that's the consistent part. How do you teach 16-year-olds who can't even clean their room to clean a restaurant? That's what McDonald's can do. How can you teach 18-year-olds who can't even boil water at home to make a Big Mac? Right? That's that's the system. When I first met Action Coach, I said, I have never heard of bread sugars. I know bread and I know sugar. I just didn't put those two together. How does that young guy who I've never known, like I know Tony Robbins, I know Topa Sama, I know, I know all these people, but how come this unknown guy has a business coaching franchise? You can franchise business coaching in 29 countries at the time, not 60. Yeah, 29 countries. How do you do that? How do you systemize an IP product? And then I went into the franchise, and then I learned how does franchising work even for things that we do. Okay, so multiple based on two things. Number one, the opportunity. Now you can't find more opportunity unless you have time to find them. Usually this is found by the owner. So the owner needs to free up your time so that you can work on other interesting stuff. Multiple is also affected by risk. So if your business depends on you, if it depends on key employees, if it depends on some key products, like key clients, like for example, businesses that used to depend on government contracts, now is having slightly difficult times, right? Because of the change in culture and everything. That business is high risk because without those contracts, you're nothing. If it's got no systems and no plan. That's why what we provide in Action Coach is really not just ways to increase your profit, but ways to then leverage your time so you can find more opportunities and reduce your risk, and therefore increase the value of your business. So if you say, well, a coaching program costs this many million a year, and I said, okay, the question is, not just will my profit increase by that much, but if my profit increased by that much, then you increase your multiple as well. Does that justify the value of the investment? Okay, so this is how we start to look at it. Before I understood this, I said, yeah, it's just about increasing profit. No. When we start thinking that our only business is our only product is our business, whatever we do to our profit is going to go by multiples if we know how to reduce our risk and increase our opportunities. Does that make sense? Is that exciting? Yes? Good. So the formula for success is be times do equals have. So let's shift the way we start looking at our business. Many of us look at our business as a, let's read the words in red, what is it? J-O-B?
Job.
Job. And job stands for? Just over broke, right? You know, some of us, here's the thing, I don't want to work for people. I worked for people for 5 years. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to stop working for this crazy person. I'm going to start working for a lunatic. Who's that? Myself. I'm going to stop working 10 hours a week, 10 hours a day. I'm going to start working 16. You know? And we say, well, I'm a startup. That's normal. I'm going to have time freedom soon, and it never happens. Yeah? Some years ago, I got a call from a technopreneur, not too long ago, and it said, well, I really want to talk to you about coaching. Okay, fine. But you got to allow time for it. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find time, but I just want to talk to you about it. Okay, let's meet at Senayan City, at the Sweet Recipe restaurant there. Right? Okay. I asked him to come to my office and said, I got no time. I said, okay, I come there. I'm curious. When I was approaching the booth that he was sitting in, as I approached, I can smell something not so nice. It was him. I swear, he hasn't taken a shower for 3 years. He had like this, it wasn't like Clark Kent, okay? It was just oily hair that naturally curled with sweat dripping on both sides. And he was just on edge talking to me. I said, wow. Easy to laugh about it now, but if I were him, and he has a wife, he has kids, and this is how his life is day to day. And I said, of course, he didn't go into a coaching program at all. I also said, you know, you got to really fix it. The first thing we're going to have to look at is how you use your time. And if he kept going, no, I can't. He didn't have the belief that that could ever happen. So I said, okay, then maybe you're not ready yet. That's okay. But just hang out with us, look us up, whenever you're ready. You know, because coaching doesn't work unless you do, right? So it's not about me. So, but it's the way. The first thing we need to do is shift the way we look at our business. Do we look at it only as a job? Or do we look at it as a product, our business? Do we also think like a winner, or do we think like a whiner? Do we blame other people for the stuff that doesn't work in our business? Do we make excuses? Or do we consistently, every time something bad happens in our business, this is my favorite question that I ask myself. How is this my fault? Okay? How is this my fault? If I can find a way how this problem, that I can easily pass on to somebody else, how is this my fault? Then I have found a new solution for my business. Because if it's somebody else's fault, then I can't solve it, right? I have to be dependent on them as a victim. But if it is my fault, I can fix it, right? So I'm always excited when I find something that's my fault. Or if I don't think that's my fault, I'll find a way that it is my fault. You know? And that helps me find yet another solution. A couple months ago, my finance guy left. Almost took the laptop with him. We found out that we hadn't paid taxes for a while. Our finance department right now is not exactly on the tip-top condition. Yeah. Whose fault is that? I can easily say, that guy ran off, didn't do his job, regretted I ever. But whose fault really is that? In the 7 years that I built my company, I built up my sales department, I built up my marketing department. What did I not build up? My finance department. Oh, it's just an admin thing, right? Everybody can do it. No. We went from having a few customers who were local business owners, medium-sized, they could even pay cash or by credit card. We went from that to serving multinational companies. We went from billing only in rupiah, now we bill in US dollars, pound sterling, euro. This guy stopped working. You know, the mental capacity was reached a few years back. I'm lucky he stayed on. Okay? So I found how this was my fault, and I said, all right, I choose to live above the line. So where do you choose to live? Below or above the line?
Above the line.
Above, yeah? It's a fun question, really. How is this my fault? Then you find new things. What do you assume about your business? What I know do I have to cross out? See, if you look at the pie chart, you know, what you think you know, what I know is probably about 5% of all the knowledge in the world. That's after living so many years. We don't have to go into details how many years that is. Yeah? And then there's stuff that I know I don't know, which I'll give myself 15%. I know I don't know IT that well. I know I don't know how to use iTunes. Okay? I know a lot of people don't know how to use iTunes. I don't feel so bad. And then there's this 80%. I don't even know that I don't know. Remember I was in a museum. I love going to natural history museums that thing. And then I saw this section, like the deep, dark ocean, like the part of the ocean where there's actually fish living there. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know there is a section like that. So I went in there and I saw these ugliest looking fish. I didn't even know that there was such a thing. So that was an example of I don't know that I don't know. Right? So the question is, how many assumptions, what is your assumption about your business, your people, your industry? Many people before they enter a coaching program, they say, I can never, in my industry, you can't increase your price. It's just weighted. Oh really? I said, okay, cannot. Okay. I work with a guy who is in plastic manufacturing, you know, plastic carbon, you know. All the plants that you buy, they come and packaged in a pretty standard plastic. What's the unique selling point that could get him to increase his price? It's a plastic. We don't focus on the product. After a few weeks coaching him, he found a unique selling point, which is on-time delivery, because his target market needed cash flow, needed on-time delivery. But he started out with this mindset that in my industry, I can't increase my price. We increase his price by 5%. Not a lot, not 50, but 5%. With a guarantee that on-time delivery or else, we would return your money by 10%. We would give you that discount off your PO, right? So all these kinds of things. So are there some assumptions that you have in your business? Like techies, we can never work less than 14 hours a day, you know? This type of industry, we have so many competitors, we have to compete on price. And then a stupid coach comes along and says, oh, okay, so what's your unique selling point? What? Service? Well, everybody says service. Well, what do you mean by service? Well, you know, S-E-R-V-I-C-E. And you start spelling it out, then you realize, okay, all right, I never thought about that. You say, okay, so let's work on that. Okay? So how many of you think that you've got some assumptions that you need to cross out? Yes? Yeah. So that's one of the first things. Change the way you think. And having fun in the process. Some of you have teams. How many of you have teams? Okay, you have more than one person working in your business. Good. And they're not related to you? Okay. And even if they are, they're a team. Question is, how fun is it to work for you? Nowadays, with Generation Y, Generation Z, or wherever generation we're going to go, it's becoming more and more important to have fun at work. Yes? Yeah? We are no longer in the generation, some of you are looking around the room, you don't even remember that generation where people fear authority. Actually, you do remember it. You go home and you face that generation every single day. It's like, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you listen to me? Mom, please. You know, and it's like, when I was your age. Yeah, Mom. When you were my age, you had a different mindset. So it's no longer control. It's more about collaboration, isn't it? The question is, as leaders, we also work on leadership. How fun is it to work for you? Because you might be enthusiastic about your business because it's yours, but are they? What's in it for them to work for you? Okay? So some of these things. Let's talk about the different levels of entrepreneur. I like to think about it this way. These are 6 entrepreneurs. All these people are entrepreneurs. But these are 6 ways that entrepreneurs think. Okay? Let's start with the employee entrepreneur. By the Notary Act, that person is an entrepreneur. However, every day, they think and do like an employee. They feel that that job has to be continuously done by them. Yeah? That's the employee entrepreneur mindset. Then some of them even say, well, so the employee entrepreneur, let's say I'm good at sales. I just think sales, 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 sales every single day. I don't think about finance, I don't think about HR, I don't think about that, even though I'm starting to have staff. So what do you think happens to the rest of the functions in my business? It collapses, right? Nobody's taking care of it because, one, I'm allergic to finance because I'm not a numbers person. All these assumptions that I have about myself, right? So I never go there, right? In Vietnam, I just finished training some entrepreneurs in Vietnam, and there's this girl who owns a spa. Huge spa. Oh my God, this building is made of gold. She's got lots of them. She probably has a lot of stock of cash or something. When we calculated her profit, this is a spa, a beauty spa, 3.75%. I said, my dear, spas don't make 3.75%. 37%, yes, but not 3.7. What happened? I don't know, don't ask me about numbers. I don't like numbers. That's right. So what do? What are you an employee of in your business? She's basically the marketing person. She brings in new products. She puts a price on them without understanding finance. She puts a price on her products. And then she actively recruits people to go into her spa and buy her products. Is she making money? She doesn't know. She has someone taking care of that. Not even a partner, an employee. And when we calculated her profits, 3.75% for a spa. Yeah, I think she lives on cash flow. Yeah, or have a rich husband or something. Then some of us are on self-employed mode. We do everything. We don't believe in sticking on one department, but we don't trust employees. We are the type of people that have this belief that you can't trust employees. Right? So we do everything. In Indonesia, we say little, little to me, profit no up. Okay. That's self-employed. Then some of us get smart and say, you know what, I'm going to be a manager. When I was working for someone, I've always wanted to be a CEO, and now I've got my own company, I'm going to be a CEO. Actually, I'm going to make that title really big and bold, CEO. Right? I've always wanted to be CEO. I have arrived. That's what you tell yourself. Until you meet me, a dumb coach, that says, oh, CEO, so you're Chief Everything Officer? You know? And you're like, oh, I think after my seminar, everybody changes their titles. You know? So, some of us, and many people who come to Action Coach, they are at manager stage. Okay? They still run the business. They can't take a 6-month vacation and the business runs better than when they left it. They're still managers, but they think they've arrived. But I'm here to tell you there's more. There's that business owner stage. Because all these 3 is still working in the business. You are actively working for money. My job is to make you realize that there's a business owner stage where, see, manager, self-employed, and employee Their definition of what is my product is actually, like let's say I sell IT products. This is my product, my pointer, right? But on the business, these guys, their product is their business. Okay? That's why you'll see many successful entrepreneurs can have multiple types of businesses, because at the end of it, every business operates the same way. There's basic frameworks. Like when you buy a car, a Jaguar and a Honda has the same H frame, the chassis. It's the same thing. You just put different things on top of it. Okay? So the idea is learn that chassis for your business. Okay? We're the expert on the chassis. You know your industry. That's how we work together. Okay? Business owner is someone who earns profit. Manager manages his or her business, the day-to-day. Investor is someone who, because of the business, because of other things, invest their time looking for how to multiply the cash they have into more cash. But it is still the cash they have. Whereas when you talk about entrepreneur, it's about multiplying their wealth by using other people's money. Franchising, like I said before. IPO, selling your business on. Getting an investor, yes. This kind of incubator program is interesting because many of us call ourselves entrepreneur, and rightfully so. You build this framework, you build this concept, and then somebody puts $2 million on it. Technically, you have arrived at entrepreneurship, okay? But many of you are lacking the basics stuff, which makes this part hard, getting the funds hard, or make it not sustainable. You get funds from someone because you're a great salesman on stage, and then you don't know what to do with that fund. And that fund starts declining, and then everybody in the investor world says, don't invest on you. Made a mistake once, don't invest on you. Okay? So the idea is not just, yay, I got $2 million, but like, what do I do with it so it generates some profits continuously? So many of us now, we see a lot of techpreneurs go straight to entrepreneurship without the basic building blocks. Is this a bad place to be? No, because this is where you learn business building skills. And that is necessary. Remember, profit is still necessary before you multiply it. So here's the Action Coach definition of a business. A commercial profitable enterprise that works without who? Without you, without me, right? Means one. Last time I checked. But many of us in this entrepreneur craze start up multiple businesses which end up having multiple problems of the same kind, right? So our suggestion is always, even if you enter a coaching program, we will focus on coaching one business. If you want to coach more than one business, go into another coaching program because we want to focus on one business, okay? Many of us get jumbled up. You lose time, you lose energy, you don't get any result. All your businesses have the same cash flow problems because you're trying to start up too many things and you're not there yet in terms of your business foundation skills. Commercial means you have a product that people want to buy. Some of us create a business because we like the product. But the question is, have you done enough market research to understand that is there a market for this? You know, one of the earlier clients I had was this DVD rental company. How do I boost my profit in a DVD rental company? I was like, I don't know, ask Virgin Records. What they do? It's like, okay, look, you know, unless you move to some desolate place where there's no pirated DVDs, or no iTunes, or no YouTube, you might still survive that business, but then maybe it's time to re-innovate stuff, you know, to change your business model. So that's what we ended up doing. Profitable. Profits can come without increasing your sales. And some of you already know that, right? But for many of you, you say, really? How do I do that? I can't increase my price. There's 67 profit strategies, at least, that you can do to increase your profit without increasing your sales. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Enterprise means that you have a structure. It's not you on top and then like 200 blue-collar workers. You have a structure in your organization. That works means you have a system, like McDonald's. It can duplicate itself without you. And without you means you can trust your team. Okay? And in order to do that, we have 6 steps. I'm just going to go through very quickly because of the time as well. But basically, and we can go further in other workshops to delve deeper step by step. But basically, mastery, it's about creating stability. Niche, it's about creating more cash. Stability in 4 areas. Understanding where you are going, destination mastery. Having your team be aligned in your destination. Sometimes you know the destination, your partner knows the destination, the 5 people that works for you don't have the same goal. Don't have the same passion for the vision. They're just there to get a job. Okay? Number 2 is financial mastery. You know your numbers. You don't just do business decisions based on feelings. Number 3 is delivery mastery. Having consistent products. How do you create consistency? Yeah? Before you start marketing and getting customer complaints. And number 4 is time mastery. How do you know when and how to use your time in a way that's appropriate and worth it as an entrepreneur?